This is the SD tow bar, right?
This is the SD tow bar.
Yes, the SD.
Say hi to
Did you guys
Dave.
have?
Hi, Dave.
Hi, Dave.
I do like that the arms hold themselves up because it's pretty heavy compared to some of the other tow bars. This one feels a little bit heavier. I mean, they're all really heavy, but having the arms stay up after you get in the receiver definitely makes this easier to hook up than a lot of the other competitors. I do like the cable management on it. It's nice and neat. And I like that you have the option to kind of choose a little bit wider variety of the style of cable. Like if you have the channels on a Roadmaster, you have to get the straight ones, which requires you to, take the ends off, run the wire through, and reconnect everything. This one's it's not quite as nice looking, but it's definitely more convenient to keep everything up.
And then also that it spreads 180 degrees apart. Some of the other ones don't. They're just locked into a V shape at their widest. And so this one you could had a wide variety of ways to come about hooking it up and also storing it on your vehicle.
And it could have the potential to flat tow certain vehicles that the other ones may not if they have a really wide base plate. Oh yeah, I prefer these. They just seem to release a lot easier than the Roadmaster or Blue Ox, like the levers. Because the levers, when you pull them up, it releases when it goes up, but it doesn't actually start to retract back in until you're like halfway down, and you got to find the sweet spot. It's kind of just finicky. With those, but you can just kind of slam your hand into the side of it, and it pops loose really easily.
Yeah.
So you like that better than both the Roadmaster and Blue Ox?
Yeah. The I can't think of what it's called now.
The Falcon?
Well, no, so the
Nighthawk.
The non-binding works better on this one, I feel like, than the Roadmaster and the Blue Ox.
Yeah, we were kind of comparing this one to the Falcon All-Terrain in our video.
Okay. So as far as the cables, I am kind of curious. Do you prefer this over the channels, or do you ultimately think that the cleaner look from the channels, I mean, is the work to run the cables through kind of negligible compared to what you get?
I think it would depend on how often you use it. If this is like you're constantly connecting and disconnecting, I would probably prefer this style a little better just because it's a little bit easier. I know the channels, it's all there, but then storing the cables and stuff while it's all connected, you're trying to wrap those things around. Just feels like it's a little easier with this setup. But if you're more concerned with looks, I think the Roadmaster one looks a lot nicer with the cable management it has. Because I know it just seems like it's a one-time thing, but the Roadmasters too, I'm always thinking about how heavy those things are. This one's just easier to connect and disconnect, and your cables slide on the side. It's just, there's less lifting and holding things up with this one, so you just feel less fatigue when you're hooking and unhooking this one.
It'll fold to either side, correct?
It'll fold to either. You can fold it all the way to the left, all the way to the right, or split it.
Yeah.
The difference.
Yeah. Now, if you're using the etrailer bag, you have to choose either left or right. You can go either way, but both arms have to go the same direction when storing it in the storage bag.
Mm-hmm. With the receiver, you said you had to flip it, obviously, in this particular instance to get the rise. But if you were using a Blue Ox or a Roadmaster, would you need a high-low adapter? Like, is it that different on that
This particular one, not really. We're right there at the 3-inch mark, so technically we would be okay. But having that extra half an inch or inch and a half by flipping it over makes it, I mean, it's almost perfect. So it wasn't necessarily 100% necessary, but it definitely is a better installation with this.
That's just for this Jeep, obviously.
Yeah,
so.
that's
right.
just these two setups.
Yeah, I was just wondering.
I don't really feel like in most cases an inch and a half is going to be enough to eliminate the need for a high-low, because in most cases, if they need a high-low, they're way out, 5 or 6 inches. So the inch and a half is really kind of negligible. It was nice for this one where it was very close, so we can fine-tune it. But other than the fine-tuning, it doesn't seem like it's really all that useful.
How was it difficult to flip it into the rise position?
It's just there's the adjustment bolts on each side, so there's a bolt here on each side. You take those out. That's for the pivot adjustment. And then just the center bolt here. You do have to drive the center bolt out because it's such a tight fit, but it's not like it's hard. Just use a little punch and a hammer.
And there is a setup process you have to do when you do that, wherein you hook up the tow bar to the vehicle and you have to drive forward, and that aligns it, and then you tighten it down.
Yeah, so yeah, this one is a little bit more set up than a Roadmaster. When you get a Roadmaster out of the box, you hook up and you're ready to go. With this one, you have to do that head adjustment on it and potentially, swap it over the dropper rise, So it is more set up initially, but once you've got it done, you don't have to do that again unless you were to change your motorhome or your vehicle.
So you have to do that even if you're using it just like it comes out of the box, like if I'm using it in the drop?
Yes, because when it comes out of the box, those bolts at the front there are actually loose. You have to adjust it and tighten those down. They do not come tight.
Okay.
These bolts here will just be hand tight inside of there, so you have to do that adjustment or else.
And that sets
that's how you set the level.
the level.
Yeah, and this one is tight as far as the drop or rise position, but your adjustment bolts are going to be loose. So you have to set the adjustment and tighten it down.
And that's in the instructions, right?
Yeah.
And the operation of the telescoping arms, are they, is it a smooth,
Yeah, it was nice and smooth. They auto align and they snap into place. It all felt really good when you're flat towing it. There's no jarring or anything. You don't hear any rattles. They seem to lock in, and there doesn't seem to be any play.
okay.
All right. Well, I guess thanks everyone for.
Yep.
Thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Thanks,
Yeah,
guys.
absolutely. Let us know if you have any more questions.
Will do.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.